Hi Scorpio, I'm Desi. This is my channel, Starchaeology Tarot. Thank you so much for being here. This is your April tarot reading. If you have an intention to set, a question to ask, a desire to manifest, anything that you want a little download from the divine about, focus on that as I tune in with spirit and shuffle. What resonates with you is what is meant for you. What doesn't is meant for someone else. I'm so happy you're here. I'm grateful to you for liking and subscribing if you have. I could cry. And with that, let's get into your reading. Scorpio, we have the Seven of Wands, the Six of Pentacles, and the Eight of Cups. Some of you are fighting for what you believe in, and that involves, unfortunately, leaving a relationship, whether that is with a person or an organization or community that has reached just the end of its lifespan. It's about having the emotional intelligence to recognize that that is done and that you have a new adventure that's ahead of you. You've done all that you could in that relationship, but that relationship only let you grow so much. There was a power dynamic there that was very comfortable, but it was imbalanced in a certain way. Things can be imbalanced but still be comfortable. It can still be symbiotic and there be an imbalance of power, especially between like mentor-mentee relationships, or professor and student, or an authority figure and someone who bends to that authority. A parent-child relationship maybe. Or maybe it's someone that you think that that you should be peers, but you're just kind of starting to realize the way in which you really are not peers because of projections of expectations on each of you, or perhaps one of you, that limit the other party, limit the other person. Some of you are waking up to the observation that you have only explored the potential that has been projected upon you by this other person. This person has said, this is what you're capable of, whether directly or indirectly, consciously or subconsciously, and you have expanded to fit that potential, that projected potential perfectly. No more, no less. And now you're realizing that there's so much meant for you beyond that potential, that you've done all that you can, learned that all that you could within the limits that were set in this relationship. Now it's time to transcend beyond the limits. This might feel like a bit of a fight. The Seven of Wands is here because it shows a particularly tedious stage of moving through something. There might be an element of working hard through the battle of this, the battle of departing quietly, of just removing yourself from the situation without necessarily even starting a fight. That is a kind of inner battle that is very hard to do. It's more of a silent battle that's hard to execute the way that we might want to execute it. But what is sure is that you are advocating here for something that is pulling you from a deep gut place. This is your gut leading you, and it's so important for you to honor that gut, to honor what you already know here, and act on it in the world to make it real, to speak on it, to feel on it, to think on it, and move, take action based on it. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Swords. So this is a new beginning, a new beginning in thought for you. I see some of you leaving this in pursuit of learning something new, of approaching a new journey or education the way a child or a student does. learning something just for the beauty of learning it, the sheer fascination, the innocent, naive curiosity, nothing more, no destination even necessarily in mind, no external goals that you're setting with it, but just knowing that you're following a natural curiosity, or an idea that you have that feels, again, right. It's that feeling in the Seven of Wands, that gut feeling, like that this thought is right, or this idea is the spark of something for me. It's the beginning of something for me, and I need to follow it. Some of you have had this nagging for a long time, this nagging feeling like it is time for you to leave, but it's really been hard because the situation has been so comfortable. And that's a really hard lesson to learn. When things feel easy, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're right. We often feel very comfortable in our fish bowls. We feel very comfortable in our comfort zones, hence the name comfort zone, especially if someone is doing something to kind of enable that comfort zone. You know, we have someone who's creating that comfort zone for us, and we see them as being someone who's really helping us in a way. It's sometimes hard to see that person in a different light or see the situation for what it is. I see some of you coming into a position of power where you know that you need to be going from being the receiver of someone else's goodness to being a giver of goodness, being the benefactor for someone else, the same way that someone has been a benefactor to you up until now. It's like you going out and being like, I have something that I can share with other people. I can lead them in some way. I can guide them in some way with this new idea I have, or with this new truth that I have. And this is all being made in the light of the moon, right? It's light of, it's understanding that there's things deep within you that have maybe been in your subconscious up until now, that are coming to surface and that are being recognized. You've had the nagging feeling, but you haven't really known how to make sense of it. Now you are making sense of that feeling, and you know the action that you need to take, and there is a certain transition that needs to happen. It could be a departure, it could just be an emotional transition, a difference in the expectations you set about this relationship, or how you approach this relationship, how you approach your position in this institution or community. But what is definite is that this is worth fighting for, and I encourage you to fight for it, no matter how tedious the fighting is, no matter how frustrating it is to push through those obstacles. The 10 is in reach. You know, success is in reach for you, but it requires endurance and pushing through particularly hard obstacles. You can be right around the corner from the finish line, but you'll never reach the finish line if you stop. So at this point, Scorpio, don't stop, push through, and know that Spirit is on your side here, and this is all part of your own leveling up of your own emotional intelligence, and honoring that emotional intelligence with action, with concrete action. So it's really beautiful, Scorpio. I'd love to hear what this looks like specifically in your life. Feel free to comment below if you want to open up your heart to me. If you haven't liked or subscribed, please do that now. It would make my day. I'm rooting for you in April. I love you, and I'll see you next time.